Hello everybody, welcome to today's episode. In today's quick show, it's going to be a quick one today. I wanted to have a quick chat about your options at 16 at the end of year 11. This is my bread and butter. This is what I'm talking about most days. This is something that I look at, I'm considering and I'm thinking about a lot. And I really wanted to run you through what could you do? What are the choices? And try and get you thinking about which one would be a better fit for you. So at the moment, you are all on a GCSE course, a level 2 program of study. The levels might not be a familiar term. It's something that it's worth starting to get your head around. If you're looking at moving to a college, for example, they will talk about the different levels of qualification. So it's definitely worth bearing it in mind. You're all on a level 2 course. If you manage to achieve anything less than 5 grade 4s, you're almost certainly looking at a sideways move. Now that might mean moving to college or sixth form and doing a level 2 BTEC. Most subjects are offered at level 2. A BTEC tends to be very practical, very coursework based rather than exam focused. There will still be an exam, but what percentage of your final grade it's worth depends on the subject and where you're studying. It's worth checking that out. Entry requirements for a level 2 BTEC, a 1-year course, tend to be 4 grade 3s. If you go into a college and you're doing a level 2 BTEC, expect to be there for 2.5, 3 days a week for 1 year. It's also a good opportunity if you're not really sure what to do, if maybe your grades aren't particularly strong, and you feel that an extra year at college wouldn't be a bad thing, gives you a chance to resit maths and English, to re-hit that grade 4, and get used to the whole college environment and moving on. Equivalent of a level 2 course is to move to a training provider. So if you feel that you're fed up with classrooms, you want to sort of get out to work as quick as you can, but your grades aren't at that grade 4, you may well be looking at a training provider, small, less formal classrooms, working on your functional skills, your English and your maths. You're also offered the opportunity for a placement, which could then become an apprenticeship if everybody's happy. With a training provider, there's usually no formal grades required. They'll take you without any GCSEs at all. And they usually have groups that start every month from sort of June, July onwards. So there's always an opportunity to start early, again, if you wanted that chance to get out to work and to build your grades. You also have some apprenticeships you could look at. These tend to be entry level, so intermediate, which are 12 months long. They have to be at least 12 months, usually 12 months and a day. Very much work-based. This is all about going to work full-time. You've got to feel that you're ready for that. You're ready for the expectation that comes with that, the hours, the attendance, taking instructions, all of that. It balances out with a salary. You are, of course, paid, contracted. And normally they'd look for your 5 grade 5s, maybe a little bit more than that. However, there are some that don't have any formal requirements at all, because again, as part of the training element of an apprenticeship, they'll give you the opportunity to resit maths and English. So those are your level 2 qualifications. However, everybody always wants to move upwards and forwards, which makes sense. For you in year 11, that means moving to a level 3 qualification. Now that could again include the BTEC. So we've talked about this, very practical, very coursework based. 5 grade 4s and above, including maths and English, is usually a requirement for a BTEC at level 3. Let's say that maths is a grade 3 and English is a 4, and you achieve at least 4 other grade 4s. College would probably still offer you a level 3 qualification, but they would add in extra time and the opportunity to resit maths. The most traditional route, many students look at this, is the A level. That means taking 3 or 4 subjects, studying them very much theory, classroom based, with most, if not all, of your final grade coming from at least 3 exams per subject at the end of year 2, so the end of year 13. For me, I really don't feel comfortable recommending a student look at A-levels unless they're achieving grade 6 as a minimum, preferably a handful of 7s and above. It's a massive jump from GCSE. They are very intense. A-level program would mean full-time, 5 days a week, with around 2 hours per subject homework each week as well. The BTEC at level 3, that tends to be more about 3, maybe 4 days a week. You might also be asked to undertake a placement as part of a BTEC for an additional 1 day a week. Both of these are 2-year courses as well. New to the arena is your T-level, very much work focused. So T-levels are written by employers. They include a large placement element, at least 45 days across 2 years. And everything that you do in college ties into what you do on placement. So there's coursework. There are some placement projects that you complete. There's also a large exam. And again, the focus there really is giving you the technical skill to do that job. So you can take T-levels in design, surveying and planning for construction. There is education and childcare. There's digital skills, IT. There's also on-site construction, building engineering, healthcare science, and a lot more to come over the next year or two as well. If you feel you're ready for work, but you're also quite academic, you acknowledge that you're looking at a sector or an area of work you've not really done before, so you need some basic skills, a T-level might be worth a look. You also have the apprenticeship route. Again, advanced apprenticeship at this level, at level 3. As for the intermediate, you've got to feel you're ready for that. There are lots of advanced vacancies. It's worth pointing that out. They are very competitive. So again, you have to feel you've got something to offer that other people around you haven't. But yeah, we do see plenty of advanced apprenticeships. Something to bear in mind with the apprenticeship route, you might complete 50, 60, 70 applications. You've got to have that resilience. You are going to be rejected. It's about how you deal with that and how you move on to the next application. Bear in mind, something I stress to my students, we can apply for all or any of these. We don't have to choose. There's no restriction. So I would urge you to complete an application for A-levels if you're at least grade 6 and above. I would also say let's consider a T-level. Let's look at a BTEC as a good alternative. We haven't got to decide yet. And I would normally suggest focusing on apprenticeships around February half term and onwards. That's usually when we see the bulk of the vacancies appear. As a year 11 student, legally, you can't start an apprenticeship until the day after your last exam. Now, obviously, this year that's all up in the air. However, under normal circumstances, that would be the earliest you could start. So those are your level 3 qualifications. You then, of course, have your progression options at 18, which could include a higher national certificate or higher national diploma, which is the equivalent of a year or 2 at university, leading to a full degree or straight into your degree. You don't have to take the HND. You've also got degree apprenticeships, full-time job with a degree built in and paid for by your employer. Increasingly popular sector. And there are some other videos on my YouTube channel looking at degree apprenticeships. If you fancy heading to uni and being a student, but you also have some concerns about employability, you could consider building in a year spent working as part of your degree. It does add a year on, and normally it means in the 3rd year of a 4-year course, you'll go out and start work full-time for 12 months. Now, that can be 1 large placement or 3 smaller ones. So there we have it. Those are your options at the end of year 11. There's lots to choose from, and they're very different. If you are, broadly speaking, if you're quite academic, if you enjoy theory, classroom-based work, if you have a number of different interests and no real specific career focus, A-level options might well be for you. If you are interested in medicine, veterinary science, dentistry, the A-level route is necessary, is required. If you are still quite academic, but you've got a work focus, you know where you want to be, you know what you want to do, and you're quite keen to get on with it, the T level might be more your route. There are a handful of providers available for that, and I'll put some links and websites for you to find a bit more about this in the notes section. If you're a bit more practical, if you enjoy your subjects that are more hands-on, if you feel that you want to look at a subject, maybe construction, for example, that you might not have done, or photography or hair and beauty or childcare, then maybe the BTEC at level 3 is a better route. If, however, you feel I'm work ready, I know what that means, I want it, I'm ready for it, my grades are pretty good, we could then be looking at the advanced apprenticeship route. That's pretty much it. What I would say, get some advice, speak to somebody, speak to teachers, speak to staff in school. They'll be able to guide you as to what are you better at. Have a think yourself. How do you learn best? What's your preferred learning style? How do you feel about a couple more years in a classroom? Do you feel ready to take instruction from your foreman, from your manager at work? Are you ready for a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday? All of those questions will sort of guide you as to which is the best fit, which is the option that works better for you. It's also worth thinking about, what do you want to do at 18? Because again, that will guide you as to what to pick at this point. So I often ask students in year 10 and 11, how do you feel about university? That's often my first question. And if the worry is, I don't really want to go, or I've got some concerns, then we might look at T-levels, BTECs, apprenticeship routes. We may still consider A-level. You know, the thing I want you to bear in mind, any of those level 3 options will let you progress and move forward. You can get to a degree apprenticeship with A-levels, with a T-level, with a BTEC. Equally, you can get to uni with a T-level and a BTEC and A-levels. About 5% of unis are a bit reluctant to take BTECs. However, it's always worth getting in touch. It's always worth speaking to the uni to find out, you know, I've done 2 BTECs at sixth form. There are some options attached to that. Let's briefly cover where you might go and what sort of venue you might attend to do those subjects. So you could look at sixth form. This is typically attached to a school. It's very similar to school in terms of there's classes, there's tutors, there's heads of year. You're in that school environment. The advantage for you, you've been in the school environment so far anyway, so it's familiar. You know what to expect. If you're staying at the school you're currently attending 4 sixth form, you could argue they know you well. They know how to get the best out of you. They know where maybe you need a bit of a nudge on a deadline or some coursework. Equally, a downside of a sixth form, they know you. You know, you have that reputation that you've had since year 7 or later. Equally, it's a familiar environment. Do you want to stay in somewhere familiar? I meet a lot of students who are nervous about change. Maybe there's some anxiety issues. Sixth form might well be a good way around that. Equally, I see students who can't wait to get out of school. They feel ready to leave. They want new peer group, new friends, a fresh start. And you could argue college doesn't necessarily, sixth form doesn't necessarily offer you that. The other thing to think about, sixth form will often let you combine A-levels and BTEC courses. So if you are a bit torn between exams and coursework, you don't really have a preference either way, maybe a sixth form and a combination would be better. If we compare sixth form to a college, sixth forms do tend to have a smaller list of subjects you can take. You could also argue that if your sixth form geography A-level teacher is having to teach year 7, year 9 and year 10, they don't necessarily have the specialist post-16 knowledge that maybe a college lecturer does, who only teaches A-level. Colleges are much bigger, much busier, larger environments, more people. You'll be surrounded by a broader range of age groups. That's worth bearing in mind. There'll be some students at college in year 10. There'll be some who are there for university courses. You'll have those people around you. College is much more independent. They expect you to work on your own, under your own initiative, and to be quite motivated. They are not going to chase you if you're not attending, if you're not handing in work and you're missing deadlines. There will come a point when they do reach out, but at that point, it might be too late for you to carry on. It might be they're reaching out because they need to fail you. So if you feel you're quite mature, you've got the approach that could handle being left to it, and you would actually work, college isn't a bad option. Much more specialist in terms of courses, much bigger range. They will, however, ask you to choose between the A level, the T level, and the BTEC pathway. With college, you can take one BTEC, or 3 or 4 A level subjects, or one T level. There isn't really much opportunity to mix. There are some exceptions to that. So I know of a handful of colleges that will offer you a BTEC alongside an A level, very similar to sixth form. It all depends on your academic ability. We've talked briefly about training providers. Here's a good example of one. So smaller classes, much more focused, much more about your functional skills, your maths, your English, a bit on employability, and trying to get you out working and identifying where is it that you want to go and what is it that you want to do. And then, of course, there's the work-based option. Really think about that if that's for you, because there will be an expectation that you'll be on time, you'll attend every day. It's worth bearing that in mind. They're not really going to be maybe as forgiving as college or sixth form would be about a late attendance. Ultimately they're paying you to be there and to work. So 4 very different routes. One of the things I often say to students is, if you don't know what to study or what career you want to do, don't worry, this isn't a problem. Focus instead on where do you want to go. Do you want sixth form, small, familiar, comfortable, cuddly in some respects? Do you want college? Are you ready for work? And then focus on, what does that specific venue offer me? So if I want work, let's have a look at the range of apprenticeships. At the same time, let's maybe consider a sixth form or a college application. We can always do both. It doesn't necessarily have to be, I want to do A levels and I want to go into medicine. It can be a bit more vague. It can be a bit more variable than that. Like I say, speak to staff at school. Seek out your careers leader, your careers advisor. Reach out online, people like me. There's lots of us out here that are quite happy to answer sort of quick questions every now and again. My company, we offer private consultations. So if you do feel that you just need that little bit extra, reach out and make those inquiries. We can certainly sort that out for you. There are a lot of options. Remember, you can apply for as many as you want. So you can do a college or 2 colleges or 3 colleges applications and a sixth form or more, and then look at the apprenticeship route. We don't normally have to choose until results day. Now, again, thanks to good old COVID, that's up in the air a little bit this year. You're looking at early August rather than towards the end. However, under normal circumstances, we would have roughly until the end of August to really settle on what we want to do. So hopefully that's helped you, give you a bit of a rundown of what's out there. Key messages, key things: investigate all your options fully. Don't dismiss something. So if you're a student who hates school, who can't wait to leave, don't necessarily dismiss sixth form. It might not be school. It might be a bit different. Don't necessarily focus on college. College will just expect you to be quite motivated, to be focused. If that's not you, is college the best place? Are you likely to disappear into a large class where nobody is checking on you? It's quite easy for you to just kind of slip under the radar and not get anything done. I've seen a lot of students drop out of college because it's not what they're looking for. Equally, I've seen students move from sixth form to college and vice versa. Think very carefully about what you want from the next 2 years. What do you want that to look like? How much studying do you want to do? What does the environment around you need to be able to offer you? All of these are questions that will help answer that ultimate decision. Like I say, if you do get stuck, if you do have any concerns or worries, come back and let us know. we are more than happy to help you out in whatever way we can. Thank you very much, everybody. Best of luck, and give us a shout if you need to.